What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're going to jump in and talk about loot in Shadowkeep. So we know that there are a bunch of new weapons, exotics, armor pieces, sets, ornaments, and of course new quests and activities to actually obtain them, but we now have a pretty full picture of what to expect from new loot tables after October 1st, so if you're a returning player to D2, maybe you haven't been kept super up to date on all of the new rewards, or you just want a roundup of all of the gear that we know is coming in Shadowkeep and Season 8, then we'll have you covered in this video. So guys, if you enjoy it, feel free to drop a rating down below as it really does help me out, but now, let's get into it. So hopefully this video is going to do a pretty good job of breaking down everything that we can expect to obtain and the different ways that we're going to get it. So without delay, we'll talk about exotics first, but I am going to timestamp the sections where we speak about legendary weapons and armor. And if there's anything specific you want to know, those timestamps will be linked below. But for exotics, one of the first ones that we saw was Monte Carlo. We won't talk about this one for ages because a lot of us have used it back in Destiny 1. Something really interesting to point out about this one is that Monte Carlo does show the Season 8 icon in the game, and so it is going to be a reward for Season of Undying. We don't know whether it'll be a random drop or a quest, but of course in D1, the main bonus was Monte Carlo Method, where dealing damage with the weapon reduces your melee cooldown and grants a chance to fully charge your melee ability. It seems pretty likely that the weapon will see some kind of rework before it comes back. However, in terms of other seasonal exotics, for Season of Undying, Leviathan's Breath will be a new exotic quest weapon, and so if you own the pass for Season 8, it will be unlocked via a unique quest line, but of course the weapon itself has a knockback effect that kind of throws enemies back from the point where the projectile lands. Pretty fitting name as well. I'd imagine if the Leviathan was to breathe on you, you'd certainly experience a more extreme version of this effect. Season 8 also has an exotic hand cannon called Ariana's Vow, and we're 99% sure that it's the one we can see on screen. So this is a new 110 RPM hand cannon. Bungie devs described it as a one-handed sniper with a long-range scope. But in terms of mechanics, it has a burn effect, not only for enemies, but if you fire it too fast or too much, it will actually light the player on fire. So that sounds positively dangerous, but those are the Season 8 exotic weapons that we currently know of. Outside of that, for Shadowkeep, we currently know of the Deathbringer, another weapon which will be obtained via an exotic quest, but this time specifically in the Shadowkeep DLC. Obviously the weapon has pretty amazing visuals, we get to see a first person perspective of it, and we've seen the Void Galahorn meets Nova Bomb explosion from the thing, and that is produced by its unique bonus, Dark Deliverance, and this fires a remotely detonated projectile that drops void orbs on enemies. You hold the trigger to fire and release to detonate. But the secondary trait bonus Dark Descent means that the further the void orbs fall, the more powerful the detonation will actually become. We're going to be getting a new exotic machine gun in Shadowkeep. Currently we don't have a name for it, but it fires high-powered, explosive rounds. Apparently it behaves a little bit like a linear fusion or sniper rifle, is semi-automatic, and can one-shot to the head in PvP. This is from an earlier build that was played at PAX, but in terms of its unique lore, the weapon has a bug embedded in alien technology, and that's what gives it this interesting capability. Finally for weapons though, Divinity is the confirmed raid exotic. And with sustained damage, the weapon envelops the target in a field that weakens and disrupts them, and when targets are under this effect for long enough, they'll be struck with a burst of damage. So pretty cool stuff, we'll have to see how that one pans out in the game. Now though, we have some exotic armor pieces, so the Assassin's Cowl for the Hunter, with Vanishing Execution, defeating a Guardian with a melee attack, or a combatant with a finisher, grants invisibility and restores a portion of health and shields. There's a lot of interesting potential for that one. The Phoenix Cradle for the Titan allows Sun Warrior benefits to last twice as long as soon as you're in a sunspot, but allies who pass through the sunspot will gain the benefit of Sun Warrior. And then one of the more recent ones we've seen would be the Storm Dancer's Brace, and this has Ascending Amplitude, where each enemy you defeat with Storm Trance increases the damage that you deal with it. So there we have it, those are the exotics that we know of for Shadowkeep and Season 8. But of course with additional activity content like dungeons, it's very likely that there'll be a couple of other things hidden away. Of course, the artifact is going to be another major piece of content for Shadowkeep. In terms of how it's obtained, Bungie have said that it is unlocked via story, and so it's possible we'll get it pretty early on. But also with the seasonal link, it could be the case that we need to wait for some of the events like Vex Invasions before it will be accessible. However, in terms of how the artifact works, we have covered the mod system, and that includes Armor 2.0, so if you want to catch up on how that works, I'll link relevant videos down below. Speaking of new armor though, Bungie have now shown us the Vex offensive armor sets. And so these are the base armors right here. They'll be featured in both the new activity, but also as part of the new season pass. And so if you don't purchase the season, it'll take up to 25 ranks to obtain all of these drops outside of the activity, but if you do own Season of Undying, you'll get all 3 of the sets at rank 1. These will however be lower stat versions of them, If you want better ones, you'll have to get them dropped again inside of Vex Offensive. Premium Season Pass owners also get these new universal ornaments, which can be used on any armor piece in the game. These will be awarded via the new season ranking system, but then Bungie revealed an additional set of universal armor ornaments that will be featured for Season 8 in Eververse. Pretty cool looking armor. I saw a few of you guys in the comment section who said that this is certainly some of the better looking stuff that we're going to get next season. And so there's a little bit of controversy that this set does belong to Eververse. Let us know your thoughts about that. Of course though, you can throw these onto any legendary armor. But then we do have the lunar armor, and this is earned through new activities on the moon and Shadowkeep. It appears that we'll be using a hive cryptoglyph to discover and unlock secrets on the moon, and partially that will result in this new gear, the Bane of Lunar Nightmares. So we have the Dreambane HUD right there. That's for the Warlock, and then we've got the Dreambane Cowl, which is the Hunter variant. So these will be the kind of moon-themed sets that are earned through the new activities in Shadowkeep. However, the other set that we have confirmed would be the raid gear, so of course this caused quite a stir because it is a rework of the Omega Mechanos set, which was the Curse of Osiris Eververse armor. And so we can see the side-by-side of the Titan helmet there, but also the collection showing the Hunter armor for the raid. And so this is what we can kind of expect in terms of cosmetics for the raid gear. Apparently raid armor will have a raid-specific mod slot. In terms of the controversy about the visuals on the armor pieces though, I have touched on that in another video. Up next though, we pretty much have a breakdown of all of the legendary weapons that we can expect to get. So initially, lunar weapons, and these go alongside those lunar armor pieces. And according to the Shadowkeep page, they'll be crafted with Eris Morn using Nightmare Essence from activities on the moon. And so these weapons will be a pretty big part of the loot hunt for the moon and all the associated pursuits. They do come with a unique theme, actually pretty neat stuff if you ask me, but from the set we've spotted a sword which is pretty unique. And otherwise it's pretty comprehensive. We've seen Loud Lullaby, and then there are a bunch of rifles, special and heavy weapons to chase. From the Vex Offensive, but also the Season Pass, we'll be able to acquire 4 exclusive legendary weapons. So 2 of them were showed off in the Season of the Undying page. And we can see, much like the armor pieces, the weapons come with the leaves and the black garden stuff, but they are very much like the Curse of Osiris weapons. Here we have the Pulse Rifle and the Scout Rifle, with what appear to be a couple of additional weapons which drop from the Season Pass ranks themselves. This one here has purple and gold paint, a little bit like some of the original Awoken themed weapons. But then there is a new loot table for raid weapons. So of course Divinity is there, the exotic, but we're also going to be getting a bow, a Scout Rifle, hand cannon, sniper, shotgun, fusion rifle, and machine gun by the looks of things. If we take a look at the Zealot's reward right here, this is the fusion rifle. We also have Ancient Gospel, and this is going to be the new hand cannon from the raid. So those are the kind of activity-specific drops that we're going to get for Season 8 and Shadowkeep, but then there will be Season 8 Pinnacle weapons. We don't know exactly what they're going to look like just yet, but Bungie have revealed to us that we'll be getting a Crucible and a Gambit Pinnacle weapon as part of Season of Undying, so those 2 weapons and quests will be free for any player of Destiny 2. However, this time around, we won't be getting a free Vanguard Pinnacle weapon quest. We don't know for sure if we're getting a Vanguard Pinnacle weapon at all, or whether it's just the case that the Vanguard weapon will be part of the DLC or something. Regardless, the Crucible and Gambit weapons will be present as always. The only other loot drops really that we need to mention for October, for the moment, would be the OG mission rewards. So with First Light recreating the first mission from Destiny 1, both new and current players will be able to obtain the original Kvostov, as well as the White Gemolist Shell, and the Arcadia class jump ship, which are all rewards that we got very early on in Destiny 1. Otherwise, in case you haven't seen them, the Digital Deluxe Edition of Shadowkeep does come with the Hearing Whispers exotic emote, the Eris Morn exotic ghost shell, that's going to be a pretty cool looking ghost shell in game, and then the Benighted Omen emblem. If you want any of those, you'll get them as part of the Digital Deluxe Edition. And so guys, that pretty much sums up all of the different rewards that we're going to get in Shadowkeep, how they drop, and how we'll obtain them, and it really does help to give us an idea of what the core loot tables for the DLC are going to be like. Once again, with content like dungeons in the game, and even hidden exotic quests, there are going to be rewards that we don't get to see until they actually drop. Otherwise, for now, that's pretty much everything that we know about. So I hope this roundup has been useful. Of course, if you're super up to date, you'll have seen a lot of these rewards, but with how fragmented the reveals have been for the different loot we're getting, I figured it wouldn't hurt to round it up in one place. So if you've enjoyed the video, a rating is very much appreciated, guys, and if you're new around here, get subscribed to the channel, and I will keep you posted with all the Destiny 2 news, guides, Shadowkeep, and Season 8 stuff as we roll into October. Otherwise, thanks for watching the video, guys, and whatever you do, I hope you have an awesome day.